All right, we are live. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. Um, really glad having you on the call this evening. So, I am Dr. Undo Jacob Fati, and I'm the host of Growth Beyond Limits. And this evening, I'm privileged to have the founder and the chief executive officer of Vet Konect, one of Africa's leading digital animal health companies, Dr. Akpem Terese Shadrach. He doubles as my mentor. It's a privilege having him on the call. Dr. Shadrach, sir, please can you say hi?
Hi, Dr. Jacob. Thank you so much for hosting me today. Thank you. Good day,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you. I see some persons join already. So you can tell us where you are joining us from, and we are really glad um, having you on the call this evening. I'll be glad to. I think I'll have a gift for the first person to type in the comments. I'll reach out to you after the session. So really glad to have you join on the call. So this is the favor I need to do. Do well to share this link with someone, with an entrepreneur that, because he's going to be dishing out a lot of value. He's going to be dishing out firsthand a lot of content that you don't want to miss as an entrepreneur. So once again, welcome, Dr. Shadrach. We are so glad to have you on the call this evening. So quickly, I'll briefly read the bio of our guest, Dr. Akpem Terese Shadrach. Dr. Akpem Terese Shadrach is a veterinarian, social entrepreneur, thought leader, and change agent with over 8 years of experience in animal health, agriculture, social entrepreneurship, human resource development, digital innovation limited. He combines animal health expertise with digital innovation to create a digital animal health platform that provides livestock farmers and pet owners across Africa and other African countries with access to animal health coverage. His vision is to provide animal coverage for 5 million Africans by 2030. With a passion for empowering youth, Dr. Shadrach, as a community manager at thousand youths. That's a whole lot. 30,000 youths as a community manager and digital skills facilitator, fostering digital skills among job seekers, entrepreneurs, and corporate workers. In 2022, as project officer of Benue Agribusiness Innovation Hub project, he led the local team in the setup of the first agri-based innovation hub in Benue State to crowdsource innovative ideas to address the challenges um, of perennial losses across rural communities. As project director, he directly business funding and development support to implement the ideas. He has received several honors, including the Hero Kickstart Foundation Grant 2018, One Champion 2018, the Staff Innovation Challenge 2021, runner-up in the Youth Nigeria Challenge, 2023 Mandela Washington Fellow, 2020 Food Pioneer by the World Food Prize Foundation for his work in transforming global food systems, and a 2024 Mastercard Fast Fellow. Dr. Shadrach embodies expertise in social entrepreneurship, agribusiness, digital innovation, strategic doing, and youth empowerment, human-centered design thinking, policy formulation, project management, and capacity building, emerging as a true catalyst for sustainable development for African communities. on the African continent. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Akpem Terese Shadrach. Welcome, Doc. We are truly honored to have you on this call this evening. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jacob. Can you hear me?
Clearly.
Great. I'm super delighted to be here. Thank you so much.
Without wasting time, I think we'll start right away. So, Dr. Shadrach, you've been in the entrepreneurial space for decades, for years now, and you've also mentored young people across Africa, leading digital animal health companies. And so, common mistakes young entrepreneurs make. I think we'll start with the mistakes. What do you think are the common mistakes? You can also share with us some of the mistakes you made as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you again, Dr. Jacob. Thank you so much for everyone who has joined so far. First, it's really great that you have put this together so that young people are able to pick some very vital lessons on this journey of adding value to society as entrepreneurs. I'd like to begin this conversation. First, am I still audible?
Clearly, sir.
Okay, so I like to usually begin this conversation by first setting a premise that the business of entrepreneurship is not for everyone, but it is for everyone to have an entrepreneurial mindset. And the reason why this is important is because you can choose to be a business owner or to run a company, but you cannot decide that you will not encounter problems. So entrepreneurship in essence for me is also an attitude towards life, where you see problems and challenges and tell yourself that beyond just complaining about them, I am going to take responsibility to providing a solution. It's an elite mindset that not everyone has. And because one decides to be a business owner or another decides to work in the corporate space does not make one superior over the other. But back to your question around the problem, the mistakes one can make on this journey. And I will be very personal and vulnerable so that we understand. Because most times as entrepreneurs, if you're not inside the person's circle, you might think that everything is rosy and the person is being lucky, but it's far from that. There are several mistakes that we make on our journey in terms of building, in terms of providing value. And one of those ones that I see always is that we immediately think of an idea in our head and quickly assume a deficit mindset to thinking that because I don't have money, I cannot implement. So thinking that money is the only reason why you will not be able to work is a deficit mindset. In fact, because I have been in this space now, I can tell you for free, because a long time ago, they said it to me, I feel like it's a joke. But yes, what I've learned over time is that in this era, especially for this century that we are now, it is almost possible to start any business at all, and I mean it literally, any business at all without financial capital. You just now need the capital to be able to scale your journey. And if you look at it from, it's so easy for the service businesses than it is for the product businesses. But even in the products, several case studies have shown us that you can take off without financial resources, validate, and then you attract them. I am not saying it's an easy journey, but it's a common mistake that we make. Then we also make the mistake of lack of validation. You see, because entrepreneurship is most times, as whatever you're bringing out is like your baby. So you can have this beautiful idea about that baby in your head, about how you want the baby to look. And because you have that idea and you don't want anybody to criticize it, you attempt to force it on people. Well, when I started Vet Konect, the way I'm implementing now is not the way I had it in my head. And I learned the hard way. Because yes, I'm a veterinary doctor and I had some preconceived notions, but even veterinary doctors have different experiences. But with the validation that has come with what we're doing at Vet Konect now, I have more clarity. have more understanding. So for every entrepreneur to succeed, you must immediately validate before you begin. Another mistake is taking off without structure. And structure does not mean you have a big office and you have a lot of money to spend. Structure is simply trying to ensure that you have all of the moving parts in place before you take off. Because it's like you just got a 5 million naira alert in your account, and you suddenly decide to build a house without running the cost. Chances are that once you move it to linter level, all the money will finish. So that structure helps you anticipate, because it's in that structure that you're going to be able to plan. It's in that structure you're going to be able to understand the nuances that you will encounter on your journey. Finally, this does not mean an exhaustive list. I think for a lot of us, we hold on to our ideas too long. Pivoting is a good thing, really. If what you want to do, it doesn't show proof that it's going to work. So if you started with a particular approach, but it is showing that you need to adjust it based on some of the market trends that are coming up, you adjust. That's the power of an entrepreneur. The power of an entrepreneur is not in generation of ideas. Ideas are a dime a dozen. They are cheap. Anybody can generate them. The power is in execution. Your ability to implement and also realize that you need to adjust a couple of things very quickly before you lose your money. Because if you're going down a wrong path, even if you have $1 billion in your account, it's just a matter of time because the $1 billion will burn off simply because you're on the wrong path. So as entrepreneurs, one of those mistakes that we make very often is thinking we'll hold on too long. There's a side of holding on too long that is true, but there's the side that is also bad. So yeah, these are the 4 points I would try for now. Thank you.
Wow. Amazing. I think I'm guilty, particularly of the last one, holding for so long. You have an idea and you are delaying the execution. You just have it in your head. You are trying to see that, okay, everything gets perfect, and at the end of the day, the whole thing gets crippled. I remember I had the idea of starting this podcast very long ago last year. But look at me starting. Of course, I started somewhere last year.
At least, it's better to be late than to be the late, like the book says.
Pardon?
I said it's better to be late.
All right.
Than to be the late. So eventually, yeah.
Okay.
Is good. Yeah.
Very well. So, and I believe it's one of the things that many young entrepreneurs, they're just waiting for the perfect time. They're waiting for everything to be perfect before they start. But the truth is, there is no perfect situation. You can wait forever and things will still be terrible. You can start and just like our guest has shared, when he started, the way he's leading Vet Konekt is different from what he initially saw. It has to do with a lot of you being evolving on the process. Everyone can generate ideas, but execution is the main thing. So thank you very much, Dr. Shadrach, for those points. Money is not a problem. So we'll dive deep into that later on. So just to build on this very question of the mistakes young entrepreneurs make. So what do you think are the most important bits every young entrepreneur must understand before starting a business? I know you've mentioned some already, but just to also go back a little, maybe more detail on that. What do you think? I have zero, I have nothing. What are the things I need before I get started?
Right. Thank you. So you're right. I touched on some of them, on the first question, but I'll just try to itemize a couple of things. And let me attempt to borrow from the design thinking framework, right? when it comes to idea generation. You see, as long as you're putting something out there, except you're doing it for charity or you're just doing it to excite yourself, you must think for the person you're solving, not for yourself.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not something you compromise on. If eventually what the person likes is also what you like, good. But your North Star in building or executing at any day and any time T must be with the focus of the user or the customer at heart. That's the first thing every entrepreneur must know. Secondly, you must validate the viability of that idea. Viability in terms of economic terms, in terms of impact, in terms of transactional. Economic terms, can it create jobs? What can it do? How can it make the system better economically? Impact-wise, how can the lives of people be better off? Transactionally, can it pay you? So if it does not tick these boxes, there's no point starting. Then you need to access your assets. And this is what I call an abundance mindset. Anytime you want to execute as an entrepreneur, the first thing you must do fundamentally is to figure out what you have, not what you don't have. What do you have? You have yourself. You have your energy. You have a laptop. You have a workstation you can go to. You have a couple of friends who know how to program or are good with marketing or are good with social media. And this is one underrated skill set a lot of young people do not utilize: social capital. Every single thing you are looking for in this world is domiciled in the people around you. And if you think it is not true, leave that circle. And this is not trying to inspire. No. This is saying that if you, as a blown adult now, cannot find value amongst the people you are surrounded with, either as parents, siblings, friends, colleagues, mentors, then look for another circle. Because everything we do revolves around people. We require people to operate. And that is why I tell people that if you think money is your problem, and then when you get it, you buy people, you're making a mistake. So people must be seen as assets, not just commodities that you tokenize when you like, right? So you need to account for that element too. Who can you bring to your side at the beginning of this journey? After that, another thing you must pay attention for is the market. This idea you want to deploy, how large? And I touched on this already, the economic element of it. Is there a market for what you're bringing in? Now, here is the thing about young people that I also see a lot, and we're all guilty of it. This thing around being the first person to have done it, and the first one who did this, and the first one who did this. See, really, it's not there's nothing exciting about it, really.
That's true.
Every single idea across generations, as we are coming to realize, is an improvement on the previous one.
That's
true. A young man walked into my office one day, told me about the idea that he wanted to deploy. And I asked him a question. I said, is any other person doing this? He told me, no one is doing this. So I'm the first person. I sat there. It's not my space. So I called 5 people in this Makodi that are doing what the young man is doing. Wow. So understand your system. You study your competition not because you're scared of them, but because you want to achieve 3 things. You want to know what they are doing so that you can do it better, do it cheaper, or do it faster. These are the 3 elements upon which anything is disrupted. And then, as entrepreneurs, we must think in first principles, meaning that you must always put principles over precedence. If your knowledge is not foundational for every single thing you want to do, you will have a problem, because you will be attacking symptoms every time instead of going to the root cause of a problem. Let me give a case in point.
Yes, sir.
If you go to an orange tree and you see a ripe fruit and you're plugging it, the fruit didn't come out, out of itself. No, it didn't.
That's true. That's true.
A seed is what brought about that. Even the seed, that's not where it started. The soil was prepared in a good enough way to accommodate the seed so that it will grow into a plant and then produce seeds. So as an entrepreneur, every problem that you're seeking to solve must be explored from first principles and looked at it from a mindset of principles over precedence. Because yes, something that you want to do is possible that it has not been done in that environment before. Does the principles support it? When the Wright brothers wanted to fly the plane for the first time,
yes, sir,
there was nowhere in history that a plane had been flown before. In fact, scientists in that era had said that
it's not possible.
No advancement in science would go beyond the diesel-powered locomotives.
It's true.
But did physics support that if you move an engine to a certain level, it will float? Yes. The laws of thermodynamics, what did they say? So if physics supports it, it can happen. So principles over precedence as an entrepreneur, and you would go very far. And always think from a foundational perspective every time you're approaching problem solving. I mean, if you are going to be able to, deploy this skill as an entrepreneur, you must also understand the discipline of right questions. The questions you ask are the ones that will produce the right answer. So as entrepreneurs, we don't go around seeking answers. No. That's not the job of an entrepreneur. The job of an entrepreneur is to ask the right questions. If you ask the right questions as entrepreneurs, you will trigger the right responses. So.
Wow. This is getting more and more interesting. I mean, when you look at the comment, the job of an entrepreneur is not to necessarily provide the answers, is to ask the right questions. I hope every one of us is able to go back to our drawing board and begin to ask the right question. And you said something very, 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 I mean, it really, really resonates with me. Thinking in principles rather than precedents. And it's one thing that a lot of us young entrepreneurs are guilty of. Somebody starts a business and he's focusing on competition rather than focusing on how he can, evolve in the business and all of that. If you go around, you see many POS businesses around, and people are not thinking of how can I do different? How can I use this principle to, evolve? Make this person stop, doing the business? How do I bring this person down and all of that? And like you said, most of the times we focus more on the symptom rather than the cause. I think it's a very, very major issue with us young entrepreneurs. And I believe that every participant of this session is able to live here with a mindset that there are principles in life and in business, the principles are there. You just need to get them. You just need to go back to them and see how you utilize them, and then you build on that. So thank you very, very much. And then doing it better, that one, it hits very different. It's very different. Doing it faster, cheaper, and better. So this is getting more and more interesting. I see amazing comments already in the chat. Thank you. Thank you. So the next question is, a lot of young people, this is for entrepreneurs that have started already. Maybe they want to scale the business and they're thinking of how do I get the funding. I will come back to those who have not started at all. But then for those who have started, some are looking at how do I attract investors? How do I position my business to attract investors? Some are looking at, I don't even know the valuation of the business, what kind of funding should I be looking for, and stuff like that. So I want to ask you, how do you position yourself as position your business or yourself as a brand for investors?
Okay, thank you very much. So here's the gold standard that every investor will give you when it comes to fundraising.
Okay.
They would say that if you can, don't take any external money.
Okay.
Let your business generate money internally. And see, is the truth. I am an entrepreneur.
Yes,
I
sir.
am currently looking to raise equity financing. Let me tell you what that means. It means that I will give away a piece of my company for the money I will collect.
Yes, sir.
And I'm trying to remember, I think, yes, Jeff Bezos said that his investors in Amazon are drawing more money than him now. I think that's what about the fact that in the process of raising financing, he had to give away a lot of his company to attract equity.
Yes, sir.
And to attract funding. So he had to give away equity. So why, as entrepreneurs, we should be looking for money to grow our businesses, still with thinking in first principles, can you also figure out your revenue model at the beginning, even before it starts happening? The whole idea is so that even as you're looking for this money, you know exactly how your own money is going to be generated. That's one. Secondly, value would always attract resources. The problem is that for a lot of young people who have not done anything yet, and we're moving around with pitch decks with nothing to show on ground. That's the thing about analysis paralysis. You need to move. You need to act. You see, the first product doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, you know how our first version of Vet Konekt, it was crappy. We know. But without that first version, we wouldn't have had the opportunity to validate and learn and improve to where we are now.
That's true.
So you must overcome the temptation of waiting for a perfect moment to act. It will never come. So build your track record as fast as possible, because every single investor who is giving you money wants to see what you were doing before the money came. Were you bootstrapping? Were you leveraging social capital? Were you volunteering? What were you doing? What is how they say it in street parlance. They say, show me workings. What were you doing? Sir. Let us see something. Without that, it's difficult. Now, here's the thing. In fundraising too, there's what we call solicited funding and unsolicited funding.
Yes, sir.
Solicited funding is the one where there's a call for it, whether grant, whether equity, whether debt financing, meaning that the person who wants to give you money is saying, come and apply, I will fund you.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Tony Elumelu Foundation grant is open now. It's a solicited kind of grant funding.
Yes,
if you go on platforms, angel investors are soliciting for you to send your pitch deck so that they will look at it and it's viable, they will fund you. It's the same thing for venture capital, for debt financing. Bank will say, come and collect loan. All of these are solicited. Now, especially for grants, which is in quote, free money, but I call it free money with terms and conditions, is that come and apply, which means since it's free money, a lot of people will come. Competition.
Definitely.
Now, not the best businesses will necessarily emerge at the end of the day, because if Tony Elumelu is funding 1,000 people and 50,000 people applied, we don't care whether everybody is qualified. It's 1,000 people. So one way or the other, they have to knock out people to get 1,000 people. So if you're lucky, you are among the 1,000. If you're unlucky, you are not. That does not mean your business should stop. Now, the thing about it again is I've established it. It is very competitive. So it's now a game of numbers. At Vet Konekt, we applied close to 100 grant opportunities last year. How many did we get? Did it mean that we didn't qualify for all of them? You will get the email that will say, dear applicant, we thank you for your outstanding business, but unfortunately, you move on it.
That's true.
2 days ago, I woke up and I saw first email of the year. around grant funding. I did it. Vet Konekt was not selected, but
Sorry
I
about that.
understand. We move
That's
on.
true. That's true.
Then the unsolicited. This is where the hard work is. You have seen an organization that has capacity to fund you. You know their thematic focus.
Yes,
You
sir.
know that these people are trying to solve a problem in this space. And then your job is to now build capacity in that area so that you go and show them proof of the impact you're making in that space. Now, this is a journey of a marathon, not a sprint.
Yes, sir.
Meaning you can decide to profile this organization for 5 years to target them in
Then,
structured engagement, and you can land a big check. But it takes a process.
yes, sir.
Then, even in unsolicited, there's a part where relationships play a role.
That's true.
In business too, there's a level you go to that your problem will no longer be to apply for grants. Organizations can reach out to you and say, we have $1 million on the table. We need to do X, Y, Z. And since we have seen the track record of organization, can you build a proposal on this plan?
That's true.
I am part of an organization. For the purpose of this, I will not mention the name. We built a proposal like this.
Yes, sir.
And got funding of $1.2 million from another big organization.
Wow.
It was not applied anywhere. So
That's true.
your goal as an organization, as I round up this question, is this: build value.
Yes, sir.
Now, in building value, you need resources to be able to test and validate. So you have to now naturally go for the solicited funding channels, mostly grants. As you continue through the networks you're building, eventually other doors will open and you will not need to apply, but somebody will say, come. Or you are the one who will reach out and say, I see the work you're doing. This is the track record you have, and this is how we can help you achieve your KPIs. There must be value alignment. If not, it won't work. And then finally, don't start business because you're looking for money. It's wrong. Go and get a job. If it's because of money, go and get a job so that you're guaranteed of a salary. Start business because you want to give value.
Yes, sir.
That value is what will translate to the transactional benefits that will come from it. Because in business, if money is the only motivation, if it's not generating money, you will shut it down and go to the next thing. Are you going to continue moving in circles? The answer is no.
It's true.
Thank you.
All right. Amazing, 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 amazing. All right. Thank you so much for that question. I believe that our audience are following closely, all participants are following closely. So here's another question, sir. You know, there are some young entrepreneurs that are doing 1, 2, or 3 businesses at a time. So let's say I'm selling a particular product, I'm rendering another service business or something like that. And sometimes you read from books that will tell you focus on one thing. Sometimes you read from other books that will tell you start with different things, then you focus on a whole lot of different perspective. What is your perspective for a young entrepreneur who is starting and maybe focusing on one thing is a bit difficult, you know, because that is still funding the other businesses or something like that. What is your take on running multiple businesses? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jacob. This is what I would say. I think as entrepreneurs, we need to understand this phase of our journey that we are in.
That's true.
As a beginner, you have limited access to everything. Financial resources, even experience, knowledge capital, and an understanding of the market that you're playing in.
That's true.
If you now wake up and because you have 1,001 ideas in your head, you want to float all of them all at once. The implication is that that small resource that you should have channeled on one thing and gotten results to replicate to another, you will not get it.
Yes, that's true.
So my advice to entrepreneurs is this.
Yes, sir.
Like the saying, and we'll use the instance of multitasking and explain this.
Yes, sir.
According to science, some schools of thought say that we truly do not multitask.
Yes,
what
sir.
we do is that every time you want to go through another thing. So as I'm speaking now, if I want to touch my phone, my attention shifts to my phone. So if you start talking to me now, I'm distracted between my phone and you. So the attention span can never be the same.
That's
So
true.
the thought process is that as a beginner, build strength in one area of business, put the structure around it, then you can move on to another one. Elon Musk currently has SpaceX, has Tesla, has X. I think he has another business. He is able to drive all of this because he has established a structure around all of them.
Build systems.
But if you are the one who has
That's
to
true.
run across all of these 4 businesses, then you're going to burn out in no time. So, and you need to also prioritize which one is really important to you part time. Which one do you want to do now? Move on it. Record success. Because if you're telling somebody that my name is Dr. Shadrach, I run 4 businesses, and all of them are struggling. You see how the thing sounds? Versus, my name is Dr. Shadrach, and I'll be able to start 4 businesses in quick succession, which are doing very well now. It sounds more exciting.
That's true.
Even for your track record, you should try as much as possible to avoid internally generated failures, which are mostly within your capacity to avoid, versus plunging headlong to crash simply because you want to prove a point.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. I think this is one feedback that every young entrepreneur needs, because mostly we burn out. We burn out. This is one that most young entrepreneurs, you are running 1, 2, 3 businesses and you are struggling with them because you've not built systems around them yet. And you are thinking, even the big guys are running 2, 3 businesses. Unfortunately, they've built systems around it, around their businesses already. They've built institutions, so to say, and those businesses can be run even without their physical presence. So thank you very much for answering that question. So as we move further, I want to come a little more personal now. So meanwhile, for those that have questions, you can feel free to drop them in the comments now, so that after we take maybe the next 2 questions, we'll come to you. Maybe your questions have not been captured yet. So, sir, what 3 books will you recommend for young entrepreneurs? What 3 books will you recommend for young entrepreneurs?
This question is usually difficult for me to answer because I'm now struggling between which one should I pick, because let me approach the question this way. And the good thing is it's easy for me because I'm looking at my library, at least the one in my office. So I'll just look at it and then call some names. But what I want to say first and foremost is that our enterprises must embody our values. That's the first thing.
Okay. Yes, sir.
And this might sound contradictory, but it's not.
Yes, sir.
When your mother gives birth to you, or when your parents give birth to you, you are part of them forever. Yes, that does not mean you're not an independent person. It's like business. I am Shadrach.
Yes, sir.
But you cannot talk about Vet Konekt without talking about me.
It's true.
Now, the wisdom here is that you must have that sharpened mentality of who you are and the ideology you want to commit or translate in terms of quality of products and services you want to render, so that it is easy for all of the people joining you to be able to pick up that energy.
That's true.
That is why I say that as long as I am involved in a process, there's nothing beneath me. There's nothing I cannot do. There's no task I will say, hey, this one is too small for me to do, or this one is for a lesser person. I should be able to, at least in principle, pick up and do it. So the question of books, as an entrepreneur, I will encourage you to read Built to Last. It's a very good book because it gives you perspective to understand the reason why some businesses succeed and why others don't. It's a very important book, and it's relevant for businesses. I want to also encourage Start with a Why by Simon Sinek.
Yes,
Why
sir.
that book is important is I spoke earlier about first principles thinking. Asking the why around every single thing you do might be about the best decision you could have ever made in your life.
That's true.
It simplifies everything. And then finally, I would let me see. There are so many. And finally, I would talk about Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell.
Okay. Okay.
That book would expose you. Interestingly, it's not on my shelf here, but it kept ringing in my head that you better call my name or you'll be in trouble. I'm saying that because most times as entrepreneurs, we move around with such a judgmental mindset. It's a terrible mindset for a business owner. Please do away with it.
Yes, sir.
Move around with a curiosity mindset as an entrepreneur. It helps you understand the edge around people so that you stop seeing people at face value and condemning them. You stop thinking that Aliko Dangote is successful because government is giving him money. Is it the same thing for the other countries he's operating into? If Dangote, in quotes, is a political entrepreneur, like people say, and I find it very insulting. How has he sustained his status for this number of years?
That's true.
So instead of having that mindset, you would struggle to understand what is the story behind Aliko Dangote. What is the mindset? It is not a judgmental approach that gives you that answer. It is a curiosity mindset. So Outliers helps you understand the edge behind everyone.
Yes, sir.
Did the likes of Elon Musk or Steve Jobs or Microsoft start without an edge? What exactly is their hidden capabilities that you should know about so that you're able to also leverage? So stop condemning people at face value. When you see people, they are winning, what is their story? When you see people, don't walk in the room and think that you just throw a blanket approach across everyone. There's a story behind it. Outliers teaches you how to understand the secret behind how others are succeeding.
All right, amazing. I mean, I remember some years back why I came to your office, and I remember I told you I was going to start a business. I was in school then, and I think one of the first questions was why.
Yeah.
I found the question a bit, let me say, embarrassing. And then a week after, you recommended start with why. Of course, I knew why I wanted to start the business, but I mean, why are you asking me why I want to venture into business by Simon Sinek? I was like, wow. So if I don't clearly define my why in business, it definitely the sustainability is not going to be there. In fact, even the structure is not going to be there. So I mean, every of these books, they are one of its kind. Each of them is one of its kind. So everyone on the call, I expect you to get them and read. So maybe the last question from my end, then we take questions from the chat. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat now. So
okay, the last book, there's a question on the last book. The last book I talked about is Outliers. I think Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Start with a why, and then the other one I said was Built to Last. Yes. Yeah.
All right, sir. I also, after this call, drop them together with the authors so that you can get them. So, sir, the last question from my end before we take questions from the chat. A lot of people are afraid of failure. They're afraid of failing. They're afraid of what their friends think of them. I remember I was launching one of my sessions. I was launching my brand, Growth Beyond Limits, and somebody reached out to me like, don't you think you should grow more before you start doing this? you have not made millions and all of that is in the person's mind. And the person was very sincere and, but then for me, I saw that, what's the worst that will happen? I will learn on the process and all of that. And I think it's one reason that a lot of people still are struggling or, they never start and all of that. So what is your advice to young entrepreneurs with regards to failure and success?
Listen, cherish failure more. Let me tell you, success is an event.
Wow.
Success, I'm telling you, it's an event. Success is graduating from school. That's an event. Success is landing a business contract. Success is getting married. Success is buying a car. These are events.
Yes, sir.
But where the lesson is in failure. And guys, I'll tell you freely, be comfortable with failure. Not because I'm saying fail and remain there, but the lessons it will teach you. A lot of us are worried about what people will say about our journey that we are not willing to start. But how in God's name do you attempt to do something great and then you turn back to be scared because somebody would be unhappy with you or somebody would throw a comment? Don't you know that greatness attracts attention? Don't you know that attempting what some persons simply dream in their mind would make others even find you disgusting? It's human nature. It's I think Winston Churchill that said that if he's going to throw a stone at every dog that bark at him, he will never get it to his destination. I don't know if that's a person or Winston Churchill or one of these US presidents. I can't recall who, but that's the quote. So do away with it's like a model who goes out on a stage to model an outfit and is concerned about how people are seeing it. The mindset is not about how people are seeing it. It's about how elegant you are in that outfit. Let the comments come and then you use the comments to improve what you're doing. So in business, fail fast. Test your process. Put it out there. What are people saying about it? There are some comments that are critical to your growth. And there are some comments that are clearly meant to put you down. Learn to identify them.
That's true.
Learn to identify them. And see, like the saying goes, a prophet does not have respect in his hometown. It's not a lie.
That's true.
There are places you go to that you share the work you're doing that they are almost worshiping you.
It's true.
Your environment is just another guy on the street. but you need to know, you need to know the difference. And you need to understand. So get comfortable with the fact that people will say unkind things about you. Get comfortable with the fact that people might lash at you and say that, who does it think he is? You are focused on what you're building. It's one philosopher that said, may your road be rough. There's nothing easy about building greatness.
That's true.
No sailor became great by riding or sailing on smooth seas. It's the storms that shaped them.
That's true.
It's the same thing for us. It's about the challenges that we encounter that we'll be able to better tell our story. Do you know how many times Elon Musk failed? Do you know how many times Aliko Dangote has failed? Do you know how many times Usain Bolt or Michael Jordan or any of these other great people have failed? Or is it because they don't sit telling you their failures? So you cannot be ashamed. If you cannot be ashamed of what you're doing because of what people will say, people will talk regardless. Have you not heard the story of a donkey, which the man was moving with the donkey and his son, where as he was moving, and the wife, not the son, whereas they were moving with the donkey, they were walking the donkey and two of them were walking side by side. They passed some people and the people said, these people are not serious. So you have a donkey and you're not sitting on it and you're just walking it. You don't have sense. They now decided to climb. No, the wife now decided to climb so that the man will be walking the donkey with her. The next set of people said, this man is not a serious man, it's a woman rapper. You have a donkey, and instead of you to climb the donkey, it's your wife you carried and put on it. You're not serious. The man said, okay, the wife should come down, he will sit. Before you know, the wife now also went ahead and said, they now said, oh, this man is not serious, so he doesn't have empathy. He's allowing the wife to work. Whatever you do, people will talk about it. So you must stay true to yourself and true to your conscience. And when you fail, always pick the lessons inherent in it and move forward. Do not be somebody that owns only your success. Also own your failures. In fact, that is the one that's important. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir, for that. So there's another one on the screen.
Okay, I'm seeing the question. Everyone talks about building a network. How does a young entrepreneur with no social leverage convert relationships into actual opportunities without appearing transactional or desperate? The first thing I will tell you is be transparent with your intentions. And if you are looking at yourself, and that's why I always talk about the abundance mindset. Every one of us have value to times 4. And times 4 is what I say, your family and your friends. Why is this important? You cannot just have friends where the only thing that you people talk about is how far, where are we sitting out, when are we going to eat. It also needs to go beyond what are your dreams, what are your aspirations, what do you want to do with your life, what are your fears. Opening it up that way shows you truly those who are invested in themselves and those who are just floating around, so that you quickly reshape your circle. I talked about transparency because everybody you want to build with, you need to tell them where this journey is heading. You need to also find their commitment and their buy-in. And in doing that, you can now clearly move forward. But the first thing is transparency. Who is available? What do you need? You can't be asking somebody to come on a journey with you, and you're only telling the person information enough to take them to the next bus stop. Let them know the entire journey so that you can find out whether they're interested in part of it or not. And it's in that some persons can be able to attract value for you. Because there are several times when it's people in my team that usually bring some of the ideas or even make some of the introductions. There are some processes that happen at Vet Konekt that I have no clue how it happens. That's the power of social capital. Yeah.
That's true. Amazing. So if you are a young entrepreneur in that category, you need to go back to your drawing board and see how you will work on your social capital. All right, so there's another question here that says, my name is David. I run a business and it's a cosmetic business in the area of liquid soap. Started the business a few months ago. Started with producing. Okay. It's not leading to a question. Yeah, it's a comment. All right, so if you have a question, it's time. We'd like to take the question. I have to switch to another device. If you have a question, it's time for questions. We'd like to take questions.
Okay. His question is, how do I promote my business?
Okay.
Yeah. So success, the first thing is, who are you marketing to? You promote your business to your audience. So you need to be clear on who you're marketing your business to, and then where are they? You don't build a business and go and look for the customers. You find the customers and you build for them. And that's why a lot of coaches will tell you that your success in business is tied to how you effectively build your supply chain before you go and bring the product. So who is your audience? Who are you intending to market this soap to? Where are they? Are they offline? Are they online? And then, are there ways where you can market this business in a way that you leverage other people to drive the process? So let me give you an example. If you produce 1,000 bottles in a day, if you are selling to individual customers, you need to sell 1,000 bottles to 1,000 people, or maybe some people buy 2, 3, 4. But if you find a marketer that is interested in you supplying 1,000 copies, it means one person has mopped up that entire process. You save on logistics, you save on marketing and the likes. So clearly define your market, but see how you can compound it, because you're selling a product, which means the more product you sell, the better. In product businesses, leveraging a business-to-business model usually works best, meaning you're looking for another business that you can take your products to that will take it off your hands.
That's true.
Because once it has to do with volume, it means the more, the better. So every approach that makes you sell more, the better for you. But be clear on it, build your track record, and how far are you looking to go? Most times you start a business because I just want to hold some money, live by. If that's your case, that's fine. But if you think there's a future for you in this business, build a pipeline for it. Yeah.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Thank you. Success, I believe your question is answered. Do we have any other question before we have a closing thoughts from Dr. Shadrach? I hope that this, okay. So what is the significance of collaborations for a startup less than 2 years? What is the significance for a startup less than
Okay,
2 years?
What's the significance of collaboration for a startup less than 2 years? It's everything, no? It's everything.
That's true.
Your employees are your collaborators. Your team members are your collaborators.
That's true.
Even your customers, they are your collaborators, if you think about it in a certain way. So
that's true.
Don't start a business with a me mindset. It has to be me. It must be me. If not me, nothing happens. No. Start a business with, how can I find people who will join me? It's like only 10% of an elephant versus 1%, versus 100% of a rabbit. You see the scale. So
yes, sir.
Think from the start how you can leverage collaboration to scale what you're doing from the start. Don't think about it when you've built the house already.
Wow, amazing,
and
amazing.
Quickly to his second question of how do you effectively sell your vision to persons that you want them to work with you? It's a communication business. And this is where you must master the art of pitching. Every single day you wake up as a business owner, you're selling. Most times we think our selling starts and stops with the customer. No, you sold your vision to your employees and team members before they came on board. So it's about the same thing. You need to be able to communicate the value that you're bringing, and then explain how they can play a role and what it's in need for them, not what's in need for you. Because if they succeed in supporting you, you succeed at the end of the day.
That's true.
So for every time you're projecting value to, looking to attract people to you, always show them what they stand to benefit.
That's
it's
true.
The same thing with how some people, you are coming to somebody to say you want money for a business, and you're saying that you want the person to dash you money, and you're saying it's a business. I will not dash you.
That's true. That's true.
You say, I have a business, and if you bring 100,000, this is what you can generate, and this is how much you can get back. Now we're talking. So always look at how value is communicated to whoever you want to bring on board, and that is how you're able to win them over.
Wow, amazing. So communication is key. So I think we'll take this very last question.
Okay.
So thought-provoking questions you could share to an aspiring entrepreneur. Questions to perhaps reflect on and act smartly.
Okay, let me add a fourth book on what you should read.
Okay.
And that book is The Blue Ocean Strategy. That came to my mind because in this business, we must master questions like it's our daily bread. How far is this business you're running relevant? What will happen to it in 5 years? I mean, with the onboarding of AI, it has disrupted things in ways we cannot even begin to imagine. So in your industry, ask questions like, where are we heading? How will this industry look like in the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? What do I need to do to position myself to outsmart the competition? Do I need to improve, or do I need to move on to something else? These are all questions. Of course, it will be variable based on the business you're running. But in acting smartly, what you're doing has to be time-bound. What you're doing has to be specific. What you're doing has to be realistic. Because if you don't have all of these elements in it, the questions will not be relevant to you. We ask questions so that we are able to build a plan of action to implement. And that plan of action, like you yourself have said, has to be smart. Don't collect the loan. The person who applied for a loan, don't collect it. If you are seeking money and the terms upon which you are going to access that money have changed, forget about the money. Not every money is meant for you to collect as a business owner. Some people say, everyone bring it. No, don't collect it. And it's good that you're honest with yourself, because you know that dynamics have changed.
That's true.
Only collect money that you know that your reality can be able to accommodate it per time. If you apply for a loan as a business owner in the agricultural space to plant in the rainy season, and they didn't approve the money to you, the dry spell came, and you still collect it, are you going to plant in heaven?
All right. So thank you very much, sir, for answering these questions. It's been an amazing time. It's been an amazing time from understanding that entrepreneurship is not for everyone, but everyone needs to have an entrepreneurship mindset. And the fact that money is not the limitation. It starts first from the mind, building structures around what we are doing, and not holding so long to ideas. And it's one thing a lot of young entrepreneurs are guilty of. And then thinking for the person you are solving the problem, design thinking. It's been an amazing conversation. It's been an amazing time of learning and relearning and unlearning. Thank you so much. And one thing that stood out for me is thinking first in principles. For every business as young entrepreneurs, there are principles already. You just need to get them. You just need to find them. So thank you very much, sir. We are truly, truly, truly honored to having you this evening. So before we close, I would like to know maybe your closing thoughts, your final advice to any entrepreneur on the call. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you again to everyone who has joined and listened in. My closing thoughts to every single entrepreneur is this: build mental tenacity. Every single thing is, your mind as an entrepreneur is your biggest asset. It's what gives you staying power. It's what really would, even in your darkest moments when you cry, you wipe your tears and still get back to work. So you must build mental tenacity. And in doing that, don't interpret your realities based on your circumstances. You're in an environment that does not support what you're doing does not mean that is what you should use to project your life.
That's true.
And why that is important is because when you see possibilities, you will seek to understand them, not challenge them. You will seek to understand them, not scorn them. You will seek to understand them, not try to undermine those kind of successes. Because if you are surrounded with an environment that is full with people with mediocrity. When people succeed, they will say it's not real. It has a way of undermining your mindset. But if you push yourself to sit in rooms where when people talk about their possibilities, you are challenged to embrace it. You're challenged to tell your mind that I will be that person. I anchored the session last week, and I said something to the audience. I said that the first time I pictured standing before the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. in the United States of America was in 2010. That's when I pictured it in my mind for the first time. I saw it in a picture, and I told myself I was going to see this space. In 2023, I stood there with my two legs and looked on this great statue of Abraham Lincoln, one of the most transformational leaders to have walked the face of the earth.
That's true.
Your job is not to convince anybody of the potential you have in you and the future you seek to build.
That's true.
If they lack the capacity and the insight to see it, the loss is on them.
That's true.
I know that maybe some of you are Muslims, some are Christians, but look in the Bible for all the people that amounted to something. They didn't look like it. They were talked down on. But the thing with a seed is that the problem is not the seed's belief in itself.
Yes,
and that is why it doesn't worry. It knows that because I know what I carry in myself, if I put in the work, results will come out. So be that seed that has built mental agility, that has built mental resilience, and is committed to going through the process that is needed to succeed. I see people put in 6 months, 3 months, 1 year, and they say they have tried. Tried? You have not done anything. The 10,000 hour principle says it takes 10,000 hours to perfect anything. And then you went and did a 5-hour course and you come out and you're parading yourself as an expert of what? Keep building. Keep putting in the work. Keep nurturing your environment and the people around you to be able to give you the stamina and stability, because it is not easy. And that is why having a support system around you, that is very, very important. And this is where I would say that you must have accountability partners. So in closing, listen to me. The discipline of questions is a must for every entrepreneur. And like David Coppenger said, the world we live in is built by the questions we ask. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Dr. Jacob, and to all the listeners. And I hope that this session was very valuable to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful insights you've shared on the call this evening.
Dr. Jacob, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Doc?
Continue the Growth Beyond Limit conversation. Subsequently, do well to follow me across all. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Let me quickly say this.
Yes, please.
I know a lot of young people. We are all under a lot of pressure to succeed. But please, truly succeeding and always trying to seek external validation is not the same thing.
Yes, sir.
Put that energy where you want to get admiration from the crowd into building. And if you demonstrate value either as an individual or as a brand, the world will seek you out. I'm telling you this because I am a living testimony. Because too many young people move around with the illusion of being an ocean, when in reality, they only have the depth of a stream. Don't let people find you out only to realize that you are very shallow. Focus on truly validating and building value for yourself. I will not say anything beyond this. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, the network. The network. Okay, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
Okay, okay. So thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful session. It's been so insightful. So I was saying that definitely we're going to have you back another time to share more. So thank you everyone once again for joining. I'm glad you really did. Find time to play this again and listen. There are a lot of things to take away from tonight's conversation, and we'll continue having these sessions. I'll be featuring other entrepreneurs, and across my social media platforms, you can follow me. I'll be sharing a lot of. I've been sharing and continue. I will continue to share a lot of content for young entrepreneurs. Please, let's go together. Thank you for joining, and thank you once again, Dr. Shadrach. Um, let's see at the top.
Thank you so much, everyone, and Happy New Year to you all. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel.